Picking up where we left off on yet another familiar series, we're going to go over a few players that have had a harder time than most finding permanent homes, hence the term hockey hobos. We'll be going through each journeyman's career and attempting to solve the puzzle as to why these select few have been on 6 or more teams. And with that, here are 3 more hockey hobos and why they've failed to find permanent homes. Considering how his decade-long career has unfolded thus far, it may seem rather puzzling as to why, or how for that matter, that Erik Gudbranson could have been selected 3rd overall in 2010 by the Panthers. Coming into the league, Gudbranson was often looked at as being the next Chris Pronger. Director of Central Scouting at the time, E.J. McGuire, had this to say about the defenseman. "He is some kind of tough. Chris Pronger is mean and will hit you. Gudbranson will hit you and fight you. Pronger is 3 inches taller than Gudbranson, so maybe Dion Phaneuf would be an even better comparison," he says. Well, one could say that the adjustment didn't quite go as planned, as after going roughly a point every other game in the OHL, Gudbranson began to struggle mightily as far as his offense was concerned. But one could say that he was still proving to be valuable in other ways though, as Gudbranson, during his 5 seasons spent with Florida, was able to block an impressive 344 shots and lay 754 hits. But as indicated, his point total was rather slim in comparison, as he recorded a measly 43 points in 309 games played. But it was Jim Benning and company that believed that there could be some untapped potential in Gudbranson still to be unlocked. He can move the puck. He kind of came into his own this year in Florida, Benning says. He can make a good first pass and he has a really hard shot. He can hammer it from the back end. Well, unfortunately, despite having high expectations and hoping that he could slot in on the second pairing with ease, Gudbranson struggled mightily to remain competitive in Vancouver. For those of you who enjoy a good bout of analytics, I'll display this for further explanation. Therefore, after 139 games played as a Canuck and only 19 points to show for it, the defenseman was traded yet again, this time to Pittsburgh. Well, one could say that Gudbranson's time in the Steel City was brief at best. After being a healthy scratch and not being able to acclimate on the bottom defensive pairing, Gudbranson, after playing in 7 games without a single point for the 2019-2020 campaign, was then traded to Anaheim mid-season.
And the Penguins are not going to take the lead.
Oh, I'm cursed, man. I'm cursed.
After finishing out the remainder of the season in Orange County, then number 44 made his way to Canada's capital, brought in more for his intangibles than anything considering the fact that the Senators were, and still are, a very young team. Having that voice of experience in the locker room seemed to be at the top of the list for reasons as to why Ottawa would make such a move. But this experiment ended mid-season, and yet again, Gudbranson was packing his bags this time for the Music City. After suiting up for 9 games for Nashville, Calgary then saw value in the veteran and signed him to a 1-year, $1.9 million deal. Given the fact that head coach Daryl Sutter commends rugged physicality, the move in that aspect of things made sense. Summing up as to why the stay-at-home D-man has struggled to find a permanent team could be that he's a victim of circumstance, meaning the game has continued to evolve to such a degree that if you aren't able to, at the very least, be a decent puck mover and occasional scorer, then it's hard for teams to really see your value. After joining his 7th NHL team, let's just hope that this one can stick for the 29-year-old after all. One could say that for the Montreal Canadiens and company, drafting Halak 271st overall in the 9th round turned out to be a steal in the long run. After spending some time overseas and with various minor league teams, the netminder then made his NHL debut a few years after. He was drafted in 2006. Following some more time split playing for Montreal's AHL affiliate and for the Canadiens themselves, Halak found himself finally getting adequate playing time between the pipes for the 2009-2010 season. With Carey Price as his tandem partner, Halak shined as he recorded a .924 save percentage and a 2.40 goals against average after 45 games played. Equally effective in the postseason, Halak then helped his team come back from a 3-1 deficit after stopping an impressive 151 out of 154 shots within the last 3 games of the series. Even still, with an emerging Carey Price, Montreal decided the crease wasn't big enough for the 2 talented puck stoppers, and then traded Halak to St. Louis thereafter. If Halak was looking to prove his worth in the Show Me State, well, the goaltender definitely did just that. Within his 2nd season with the Blues, Halak along with Brian Elliott captured the William Jennings Trophy as Halak finished with the 4th best goal goals against average during the 2013-14 season, with a 1.97, and an equally impressive .926 save percentage. But despite his talent, he wouldn't be on this list if he wasn't constantly moving, am I right? Following a rather brief stint in the nation's capital, Halak then found himself being given a starter's role for his debut season on Long Island, as he, after playing 59 games, was able to still finish with a .914 save percentage. But after the Islanders brought in Thomas Greiss, the netminder's playing time then decreased for the next couple seasons before he signed with Boston. Well, just like with St. Louis, in his second season with Boston, Halak yet again was part of a William Jennings winning tandem. Alongside Tuukka Rask, Halak recorded a .919 save percentage and a 2.39 goals against average. And most recently, the 36-year-old signed a one-year deal with Vancouver and will most likely be serving as a mentor for the up-and-coming Thatcher Demko this season. Despite the fact that Halak has proven in the past that he can be relied upon as a starter, it seems like most teams have viewed him as a backup that's interchangeable on occasion. He's also become a victim of circumstance as well. Carey Price took the crease in Montreal and Christ on Long Island, with a current career save percentage of .916 after 16 seasons spent in the league. With 2 Jennings trophies to his name, one thing's for certain: Halak has proven to be above average between the pipes. Is yet another first-round pick of 2010 to have been on at least 6 NHL teams already since. After attracting attention due to his time spent in the GHL, Cheyenne emerged as a capable two-way center with excellent skating and passing abilities. After being taken by Detroit 21st overall, Cheyenne spent time suiting up for Notre Dame for a few seasons before eventually making his NHL debut in 2011. Over the next few seasons, the forward would spend time going back and forth, playing for Detroit's AHL affiliate and the NHL team that drafted him. His best season with Detroit was the 2013-14 campaign, in which Cheyenne had the best shooting percentage thus far of his career with a 15.3. With 24 points after 42 games played, Cheyenne, therefore, was granted more playing time. But unfortunately, given the added responsibility, Cheyenne's production decreased steadily. During his final full season with the Wings, the forward was only able to notch 13 points after 80 games played. After making his way to the Berg following a mid-season trade, Cheyenne was instantly inserted into the top 6 and flourished offensively, as during his first season in Pittsburgh, after 73 games played, Cheyenne was able to record 32 points, with 11 of them being goals. But after being demoted to the bottom 6, the forward's numbers took a drastic dive, and after only scoring 9 points in 49 games played, Cheyenne was then dealt to Florida, where his shooting percentage through 33 games played averaged at 4%. After signing with the Edmonton Oilers for a season unable to re-up, Cheyenne then went on to represent his 5th NHL team in Buffalo for a season. Despite all of the moving around and uncertainty, though, one could say that the end of this story sort of ends on a positive note after all. Cheyenne was able to make history with his new team as he scored the very first goal for the Kraken during the preseason of their inaugural campaign.